Hello, it's Belinda Weaver here from Copyright Matters. I'm opening my Copywriting Master Class very soon, and I wanted to take another opportunity to talk to someone who has recently done my course. Eman is joining me from the UK, and before I get into you too much, Eman, I would love you to introduce yourself. Can you tell us who you are, what your business is, and who you do it for?
Yeah, sure. Hi. I am Eman. I'm a copywriter. I run House. I've been doing that for a year. I've actually been copywriting for about 3 or 4 years, but I set up House a year ago. And I work with businesses and nonprofits, mostly in the UK, but I do have some international clients as well.
Oh, just muted myself accidentally there. So, Eman, you signed up to the course in March 2019, and it was actually after joining my Confident Copywriting program, which I think is great because you had been a copywriter, as you said, for a couple of years. You had already been running your business for at least a year. You were smart enough to join a private mentoring group, and then you've gone back and kind of doubled down on the skills. So I wanted to kind of explore that a little bit more. Can you share the trigger or where you were at when you decided to look for a copywriting course?
Okay, well, firstly, I'd heard about your copywriting course a while before, when I was actually in my last job. So before I started House, I was working full-time for a charity, and I left that job to start House. Yeah. And I actually heard about your course then. I knew it was something that my employer wouldn't pay for, so I knew it'd have to come from me. And I just wasn't able to afford it at that point, or I felt like I couldn't anyway, because I soon realized that it's more about what you prioritize, that you most of the time you can afford what you want. But basically, by the time I was ready to join your course, I had been in Confident Copywriting for a while. Mm-hmm. So by that point, we'd raised my rates by an incredible amount. And for me, it was really important that I felt confident with those rates, and that I felt like I was pricing myself and my work fairly. So I really wanted to make sure that I am on my game when it comes to the actual copy side. So I wanted to have confidence in my copywriting skills so that I could also have confidence to charge higher rates. And I think as my confidence increases through Confident Copywriting and of course your copywriting course, my rates slightly go up and keep inching up.
Working on it.
Yeah, we are.
But I love that you've really touched on an important point, that when we're starting out, we're often kind of riding on instinct, and we're feeling like we've got something in us that can do it. And then we get a bigger project or a slightly more sophisticated client, and then we start to doubt ourselves and our skills. But when we've invested in our training and learning our craft, whether it's in a course or another program or doing it ourselves, we can feel more confident that, we know what we're doing. And then earning more, of course, you can take on bigger projects with even, clients with bigger budgets who then expect more from the delivery of the copywriting service.
Exactly.
And so you mentioned price was a big kind of, could have been a hiccup. Do you think it would have stopped you signing up? Because it's, I'm not going to pretend it's a cheap course. It's a premium course that requires a lot of time and the coin. So how have you found the experience of being on the course?
Well, firstly, I'd already been listening to you and Kate on Hot Copy for a really long time. And then I joined Confident Copywriting. So I was confident that you would provide the goods. I knew that it would be a great course. And the price, to be honest, just enhanced that feeling, because I knew that for it to be priced at this price, it was going to be a good course. So for me, it was just about prioritizing my money, basically. I knew this is what I needed to do. I really strongly believe in investing in yourself, and the past year has shown me that the more you invest in yourself, the more that your business grows, the more that your skills grow. And so I knew it was just something that I had to do. So I prioritized the course and found a way to pay for it, and it was much easier than I thought it was going to be, and it's been well worth it. And the great thing about the course is I'm a mum as well. So as well as running my full-time business, I am looking after my toddler, and it can be really difficult to manage both. So I'm going through the course slower than I wanted to, but it's been brilliant because of the way that the course is structured. I can dip in and out as I need to, and I can dip into what's relevant. So I tend to write a lot of about pages, and even though I haven't submitted all the work to you yet, I've gone through the about page module so many times, and I just keep going back to it. And what's also amazing is that I can use it all for my client work, so that I can be a better copywriter for my clients. But then I also use it for my own website and that kind of stuff too when I'm writing my own stuff.
That's so good. That's so good. And, you know, often the first way we practice our skills is writing our own copy, which is one of the hardest things. It's tackling the hardest project first. But, you know, before we start a blog and before we get all our marketing, our website can be our showcase. So it's a great way to practice all the skills learning. I'm really glad. So if you could pick out a couple of elements, like you've mentioned, being able to dip in and out of the content, and the course being able to fit around your life, which I love, because we were just talking about school drop-offs and managing young kids and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's a really common thing that people are trying to manage. So I'm really glad that the course ticked that box for you. Are there any other aspects that you've particularly enjoyed about the course, how it was presented, how you've been able to engage with it?
Yeah, one thing I've really enjoyed are the coaching calls every month. So I felt a bit apprehensive at first, I guess, to join in, because I was worried about sounding stupid or asking stupid questions. And it's scary when you're a copywriter and, you know, you make your income off being a copywriter and you're still learning about copywriting. And so it's a bit scary to ask questions, because you don't want people to, or you think people are going to think, oh, you're supposed to know everything type thing. But no one does think that. And the amazing thing about being in the group is that everyone comes to it from a different perspective and with different questions. So people are asking questions that I've never considered, and that is still entirely relevant to me. So you're learning from everyone else as well. And of course, you're answering everyone's questions. So just the value there is immense.
Awesome. And I really have admired the way you have really shown up to those coaching calls, because often, you know, I alternate the time zones. So at least, you know, I try and catch, you know, I've been having, when you did the course, they were monthly coaching calls, and I was alternating so that they would be friendly to UK times and then friendly to Australia. Now we're switching to weekly, and I'm trying to hit as many time zones as possible. And I love the fact you were showing up in the evening, sometimes showing up really early in the morning as well.
Thank you.
I love the fact that you got value out of them. And I think part of that is showing up.
Yeah, exactly. And I think, I mean, you send us the replays anyway, so we'll get the replays. But for me, as someone who works by myself a lot, it's really nice to have that sense of community, and to feel like there are other people who are in the same position as you and who you can just talk through things with. So that sense of community has been really important as well, which is why I always show up to the live calls. Yeah.
And I love that the people often say, that was just what I needed, or I almost didn't come, but I just got so much out of that, which, you know, that's fantastic, because that point of connection can be so important. And you hear one question and you're like, oh, actually, I have got a lot of questions.
Yeah, exactly.
I realize we're waiting.
And I think it's important to note as well that unfortunately, not all groups are welcoming and supportive. And this one is entirely, everyone is so nice and everyone is so supportive. And I also think that's because of how you manage it as well. So,
nice. Yeah, that is fantastic feedback, because I was speaking to another graduate, Krista Walsh, the other day, and she was saying that it feels like a really safe space.
It does. It really does. It really does. I'm part of a few, not paid groups, but, you know, kind of Facebook groups for copywriters, and that kind of lurking. And I'm too scared to talk because not everyone is welcoming and nice. But in this group, you know that you can ask anything, you can say anything, and everyone else will always pitch in and help as well.
Oh, I love that. That's fantastic. So if you were going to recommend this course to anyone, who would it be and why?
I think I'd have to recommend it to someone like me. 100%, I think business owners would benefit from it as well. Business owners that want to write their own copy. But for me, copywriters who really want to improve their skills and therefore improve their business would really, really benefit from it. If you are, and the thing is that it sets the foundations, I think, for everyone's knowledge. So wherever you go from there, you know that you've got a firm foundation, and you can move on from there. And like you said, I was writing a lot on instinct. So if you're a naturally good writer and you can just write stuff, but you don't know why you're doing it, there's no technique, there's no structure, it's really hard to write copy. But as soon as you go back and you learn those foundations, and there is structure, and you learn that there are techniques, it becomes so much easier. Like right now, I'm working on, through you again, writing my copy a lot faster so that I can earn more money in less time. Yeah. And it's working because I have that foundational knowledge now that I'm trying to implement.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And the other good thing when you have the techniques and the process is that, well, sometimes it can be easy to write copy for projects we love to be on, for clients who are kind of just like us and we're having a super fun time with. And then we get a client who we don't gel with or is a bit boring. And that's when the technique and the process can really come in, because you can keep on delivering, and it's
exactly
inspiration.
Yeah, at the minute, I was just telling you that I'm working on a project about computer science, and that would have terrified me a few months ago. But because I know now that I can do this, and this, and I have the copywriting skills that I need, it's given me the confidence to tackle subjects that I would never have been able to before.
Awesome. That is absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you for sharing your story today, Eman. I really appreciate it. I will link to you, of course. Your business is House, and you're in the UK, and you should follow Eman on social media. She really does great social media and marketing, and she's got lots of great things like your ebook and some courses coming up. So find her and follow her. But thank you, Eman, for sharing your story today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Cheers.
Bye.